And hello, guys. What is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for the 21st edition of this Royal Rumble match retro recap and review series, as we are now on the 2008 Royal Rumble match. We have 9 Royal Rumbles left to go. Hopefully, I'll get 2009, maybe 2010 done today also, as hopefully I'll get this series done this coming week. But the 2008 Royal Rumble match, to me, it was a good match. Step back though from 2007, I felt there was just a lot of people in the match at the same time, and the big return we had at number 30, the big surprise entrant, the storyline, with John Cena and Triple H. Both on the quest to get a world title opportunity at WrestleMania again, since Triple H was out for most of the previous year and missed WrestleMania 23 due to injury, and then John Cena making his surprise return after he was supposed to be out for about 6 to 12 months, but he was back in 3 months due to an injury he suffered back at the beginning of October of 2007. Just the way the story went from there kind of left the prestige of this Royal Rumble match down a little bit. And also when they got to WrestleMania, the match wasn't the main event. Even though they would say, "Oh, John Cena's going to main event WrestleMania," no, he didn't. That's what always bothers me too. Sometimes the Royal Rumble match winner doesn't end up being in the main event. They end up being in the middle of the card or whatnot, or close to the end. I mean, I understand here and there's a match that you gotta put on last, because there's nothing that's gonna be able to top that off. But come on, don't just say they'll headline WrestleMania, they'll get a title shot at WrestleMania, not all the time. Oh, we're going to main event WrestleMania. There is one main event, as CM Punk would say, and it's the last match. You can't push it. I mean, there's main event caliber matches, but you can't push say there's 3 main events at this pay per view. No, don't even try pushing it that far. But still, I enjoyed this Royal Rumble match for it was. It was a little clustered, but crowd was into it. It was fun. I still enjoyed it. Let's get right into this Royal Rumble match. It took place on January 27, 2008 at Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. And of course, again, the stipulation, the winner got a championship match at WrestleMania. So let's get right rolling into it. So we started off pretty much where we left off with, how we ended last year, as numbers 1 and 2 were HBK and Undertaker. Well, Undertaker was number 1, HBK was number 2, and if you remember 2007, that was the way that Royal Rumble ended. Thus, the way they went at it for those last 8 minutes was just teasing that the big matches to come down the line, and here as well, they were teasing more of it as well. And it looked like they were teasing an Undertaker Shawn Michaels match also, with how they were eliminated, with how they were staring each other down. We felt it coming. But Undertaker went on to face Edge in the main event of WrestleMania 24 for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Shawn Michaels would face Ric Flair. It will be Ric Flair's final match. Undertaker was on SmackDown this time, and Shawn Michaels was on Raw. So we start out with those two. Number 3 from Raw was Santino Marella in his first Royal Rumble match. No, this was not the year of the "I wasn't ready," but wasn't saying that this year. He didn't last long there at all, as he was only there for 25 seconds, and the Undertaker eliminated him. Time to go up too much to the next year, though. We'll talk about that when we get to next year's Royal Rumble. Number 4 from SmackDown was the Great Khali. Last year, again, he got an unnecessary, strong showing in the Royal Rumble match. He's getting the "you can't wrestle" chance, but of course the announcers won't acknowledge it, but they'll not acknowledge something else for other people as well, because Khali's big, he's Punjabi, he's the Punjabi nightmare. No, he can't wrestle. He stunk. I'm sorry. But luckily didn't last long this time, as he was eliminated by Taker. Number 5 from Raw was Hardcore Holly, one half of the, well, they had 2 tag team championships. There's the regular tag team championship and then the world tag team titles. Can't remember which one was which, but Hardcore Holly was half of the tag team champions. Number 5. Number 6 from ECW was John Morrison, who, throughout the match, he kept comparing John Morrison to Shawn Michaels, which Morrison could have been excellent, a great world champion in the WWE. The problem is he just never got to that spot, and now he was off in, I think, Lucha Underground and whatnot, just shining as well. Maybe he'll come back to WWE someday, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We came in number 6. Number 7 from ECW was Tommy Dreamer. Number 8 from SmackDown, we have Batista. Batista was not, he was not in the 2006 Royal Rumble match last year. 2007, what was he doing again? I can't. Oh, that's right. He was the World Heavyweight Champion because Taker faced him at WrestleMania 23. That's right. My bad. He came into this Royal Rumble match first time he's been in a Rumble match since 2005. He would eliminate Tommy Dreamer. Now, number 9 from SmackDown was Hornswoggle. This was around the time where Hornswoggle was involved in that storyline where he was Mr. McMahon's illegitimate son, as that was supposed to go to Mr. Kennedy, as it was supposed to lead to Mr. Kennedy in a title shot against Triple H at WrestleMania 24. Unfortunately, though, Mr. Kennedy suffered an injury, kept him out for some time, and he also failed a, a drug test. So he was suspended for violating the wellness policy, so that all got taken away from him, pretty much. But yeah, so instead of putting Mr. Kennedy in the illegitimate son storyline, they gave it to Hornswoggle, who spent most of the match just hiding out underneath the ring. Whatever. Number 10 from SmackDown was Chuck Palumbo, followed by number 11. Also from SmackDown was Jamie Noble. Remember him from JJ Security? He came in at number 11. Him and Palumbo were feuding with each other, but Palumbo got your hand eliminated Noble right away. Number 12 from ECW, CM Punk, who had just lost the ECW championship to Chavo Guerrero. 2008, though, was the year I think Punk really started to break out, in the other brands as well. I can't remember which brand. I think he goes to SmackDown, of course. But he would become World Heavyweight Champion for the first time this year, winning Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 24. Unfortunately, though, his first run as World Champion wasn't as good. In 2009, that was the year Punk really started to come even more alive. And, of course, he became, the big main event star he was in 2011 when the Summer of Punk happened, which, I'm sure we'll talk about again since I'm down the line. He eliminated Chuck Palumbo. Number 13 was Hardcore Holly's tag team partner in his first Royal Rumble match, Cody Rhodes, who was on Raw. He came in as his first Royal Rumble match of him with several stables as well. Number 14 was Umaga, who was on Raw also. This is his first Royal Rumble as Umaga. 2005, I think it was, 2004, I can't remember which one it was now. He was in as Jamal. This is his first one as Umaga. He was around in 2007, but at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view the previous year, he had that championship match against John Cena. He didn't win, of course. Umaga then eliminated Hardcore Holly. Number 15 from Raw is Snitsky. Whatever. Number 16 from ECW was The Miz. Him and Morrison, I believe, were tag champions also around this time. Also, yeah, probably ECW tag champions or world title champions, or whatever. That's probably why they, eventually would merge the titles whenever the ECW brand just, died. So yeah, and The Miz was on ECW. He's number 16. Number 17, also from ECW, Shelton Benjamin. Fortunately, though, you showed how much the ECW guys really cared about. He just got super kicked by Shawn Michaels out in 18 seconds. So there goes that. Now, we had a couple legends coming in, and I know first, some people were like, oh yeah, they took over some spots, but to have these guys have their moments for a little bit in the Rumble for a couple minutes because of their history in Madison Square Garden. First, number 18, we had Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and number 19 was Rowdy Roddy Piper. They do have a history in Madison Square Garden, so it is acceptable to give them their moments here in the Royal Rumble match, a surprise entrance. Number 20 from SmackDown, we had Kane. He came in, he would eliminate both Piper and Snuka. From Raw, at number 21, we have Carlito. He came in number 21. Number 22 was another surprise entrant in the legend of Hall of Famer Mick Foley. He came in at number 22. Number 23 was Mr. Kennedy. Or, I'm sorry, I did it during WrestleMania review series. I need to do it here again. Mr. Kennedy! Did that. But unfortunately, it wouldn't last too long. Number 24 from ECW was Big Daddy V, who was Viscera. And I thought a few years ago, Viscera or Mabel looks a lot like Big Daddy V. He ends up being Big Daddy V pretty much. So I got to learn that. Undertaker would then eliminate Snitsky. He was still in the match. But then HBK would super kick Taker to eliminate him from behind. And then I believe Mr. Kennedy and HBK were involved in the feud also around this time also. So he would eliminate HBK from the match also. And this is a stare down that HBK and Taker had to attend again. People were thinking maybe they were going to have a match at this year's WrestleMania. But again, HBK did face Ric Flair to retire him. Ric Flair actually was in a match with MVP earlier for the career-threatening matches. And then I believe Flair faced Mr. Kennedy at No Way Out. With a career-threatening match, and 3 times the charm when he lost to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24, even though he did go on to wrestle a few matches at TNA afterwards, but it was his last WWE match. Number 25 was Mark Henry. Of course, he didn't eliminate anybody because he didn't eliminate anybody since his first Royal Rumble match. And then Hornswoggle will come out from underneath the ring and pull The Miz over the top rope out of the match. So The Miz got eliminated by Hornswoggle. How embarrassing. Oh yeah, Mark Henry's on SmackDown, by the way, I forgot to mention. From SmackDown, also number 26 was Chavo Guerrero, who had just won the ECW Championship recently from CM Punk. They get in the ring and they start brawling with each other. Then Kane will eliminate John Morrison, who had a long showing in the match. Now, number 27 was supposed to be Finlay. However, though, when Hornswoggle came in trying to pull off his tactics again, he was pulled in by Mark Henry, so they're about to all attack him. But Finlay comes out, who's on SmackDown also, and he attacks everybody with a Shalila, and he takes Hornswoggle out of the match. Now, Hornswoggle never returned. Because of those actions, Finlay was disqualified from the Royal Rumble. From ECW number 28, we have Elijah Burke. And then speaking of ECW, Chavo Guerrero would eliminate CM Punk. Number 29 from Raw was Triple H, who, as I said in the beginning, he was not in last year's Royal Rumble match. He was in the one in 2006, because he started off at number 1 with Rey Mysterio, and he ended up placing 3rd. But he missed last year's WrestleMania due to an injury, so it was his destiny to get back to WrestleMania and become champion also, as he would be facing off against Randy Orton, who is the current WWE champion. So he enters number 29, and he eliminates Cody Rhodes, then Big Daddy V, and then Foley and Elijah Burke. So it was just down to I think it was Carlito, Chavo Guerrero, Mark Henry, Umaga, Batista, Triple H, and Kane, if I didn't mention that. So 7 people left in the ring. Oh, and Mr. Kennedy also. And then number 30 hits. And then there's this longer pause, and all of a sudden, John Cena's music hits, and the crowd erupts. As I said before, Cena suffered a really bad shoulder injury at the beginning of October, and he was supposed to be out for about 6 months to a year. But, of course, it's the first time Cena made, a triumphant return a lot earlier than expected. No one would have expected Cena to be in this match at all. He was on Raw at this time also, so he came out to a big pop. Of course, later on, it'd be ending with him getting somewhat booed. Because this was around the time where Cena was starting to, people were starting to definitely get sick of John Cena around this time, but not as sick of him as they did, from 2009 on. That's when the years 2009 to 2012 were years Cena's getting constant title opportunities, which he kind of was this year also. But it was just that era where either Orton, Triple H, or Cena were champion pretty much. Nobody else was champion. They kept facing each other too. They didn't have to make fresh opponents really in these championship feuds. That's why they were. I was don't complain about Edge or Batista's championship feuds, because they had fresh opponents. And also, Triple H, Randy Orton, and John Cena just kept facing each other for the next year or year and a half, 2 years. So Cena comes out and he starts wreaking havoc. He eliminates Carlito, Chavo Guerrero, then Mark Henry, and then Batista will eliminate Mr. Kennedy and Umaga, leading to the final 4 being Batista, Kane, Triple H, and Cena. But then Triple H and Batista had a brief Evolution reunion, and they take out Kane. So then there's just the 3 baby faces left in Batista, Triple H, and Cena. They all do their little signature thing. Batista does his thumbs down thing. John Cena does you can't see me to both of them, and then Triple H tells them both just to suck it. So they go at it for a little bit, brawling with each other. It was not too bad of a scene. It was not as good as the final 2 between Undertaker and HBK the year before, but it was still, a nice little showdown. So then Batista would eventually be eliminated by Triple H, and eventually it would be Cena and Triple H, who would both, had a destiny to, redeem their prize after returning due to injuries, and wanted to win the championship at WrestleMania. So they go at it for a few minutes also, until Cena does an FU, which is a song the FU, because 2008 was the last year. Well, this is the last Rumble and WrestleMania until later on that summer, where the WWE transferred into the PG era after being TV-14 for how long. But John Cena did hit the FU on Triple H to eliminate him from the match, and I got a little scared for Triple H got eliminated watching it, because Triple H kind of took a little bit of a bump from on the apron when he left, but he didn't get any whiplash or neck injury or anything like that, thank goodness. So Cena wins the Royal Rumble match. He got some people booing in the crowd because despite the fact that his return was triumphant, again they still were starting to get a little tired of Cena at this point with his booking. But he wins his first Royal Rumble match. Now, why did the prestige of this Rumble win kind of go downhill though? Because Cena would use his opportunity against Orton at No Way Out. So they had the Raw Elimination Chamber match for the #1 contendership for the championship at WrestleMania. However, though, I believe Orton won not clean at the No Way Out, so they let Cena and Triple H fight Orton for the title at WrestleMania, which, the story of letting them come back both with injuries could have been the main event. I mean, Taker and Edge was still a decent, strong main event, but probably was not the strongest main event we've seen in WrestleMania history. But, they could have, with the story, given it the triple threat match to Orton, Batista, and I'm sorry, Orton, Triple H, and Cena. Instead, they gave it to Edge and Batista. So that's why it kind of like, even though Cena won the Rumble match, it kind of like watered down, like, Cena going that route instead of using his opportunity earlier or whatnot. So this Rumble was still enjoyable. I liked it. I mean, I know there was like 14 people in the ring at once at times, but I think the star power for the most part was pretty good. It would be nice to have a little bit of like a breakout star in this match. I mean, well, John Morrison got a good amount of time, and a few others, but I mean, no one really stood out like the past couple of years. We've had like a big breakout. Or I got 2005, both Cena and Batista kind of like rallied in their first match. Like Edge and Orton last year, like just like newer stars getting like more just getting the upper hand pretty much in these matches. But let's go over the numbers again. Starting with number 1 from SmackDown, Undertaker was in there for 32 minutes and 33 seconds with 3 eliminations. Number 2 from Raw was Shawn Michaels, 32-39, 2 eliminations. Number 3, Santino Marella from Raw, 25 seconds eliminations. Number 4 from SmackDown, The Great Khali, 109, no eliminations. Number 5 from Raw, one half the tag team champions, Hardcore Holly, 13-46, no eliminations. Number 6 from ECW, half of the World Tag Team Champions was John Morrison, 29-23, no eliminations. Number 7 from ECW is Tommy Dreamer, 209, no eliminations. Number 8 from SmackDown was Batista, 37-40, 4 eliminations. Number 9 was Hornswoggle, 26-17 with 1 elimination from SmackDown. Also from SmackDown, we have Chuck Palumbo, 4 minutes, 1 elimination, and Jamie Noble, 20 seconds with no eliminations. From ECW, number 12, CM Punk, 23-50, 1 elimination. He had a decent showing also. Hardcore Holly's tag team partner, Cody Rhodes, at number 13 from Raw, 23-14 eliminations. Number 14 from Raw, Umaga, 26-05, 1 elimination. Snitsky at number 15 from Raw, 12-26, no elimination. 16 from ECW, Miz Morrison's tag team partner, 13-07, no eliminations. Number 17 from ECW, Shelton Benjamin, 18 seconds, no eliminations. Number 18, Legend, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, 2:43, no eliminations. No Legend, number 19, Roddy Piper, minute, no eliminations. Number 20 from SmackDown, we had Kane, 17:58, 3 eliminations. From Raw, number 21 was Carlito, 15:07, no eliminations. Number 22, Legend, Mick Foley, 11:29, no eliminations. Number 23 from Raw, Mr. Kennedy, 13:32, 1 elimination. Number 24, Big Daddy V, Viscera, Mabel, whatever you want to call him, from ECW, 7:49, no eliminations. Number 25, Mark Henry, 9-12, no eliminations. SmackDown. From SmackDown, the current ECW champion, though, number 26 was Chavo Guerrero, 7:33 elimination. Number 27 was supposed to be Finlay. He was on SmackDown, but he did not enter the match technically because he was disqualified due to his actions of saving Hornswoggle. Number 28 from ECW was Elijah Burke, 2 minutes 11 seconds, eliminated by Triple H, no eliminations. Number 29 was Triple H from Raw, 11:22 is 6 eliminations. Number 30 from Raw, John Cena, 8:28, 4 eliminations. So yeah, the total time for this match is 51 minutes and 26 seconds. The longest was Batista at 37:40, and most eliminations by Triple H was 6. And overall, again, good Rumble match. Some little loopholes in it though, but it was still fun for what it was. I'll give it a B. B for the 2008 Royal Rumble match. What are your thoughts on the 2008 Royal Rumble match? Your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure to always click that like and subscribe for more content to come to this channel. Follow me on Twitter, Arrow93. I'll catch you guys later in my 2009 Royal Rumble video. And until then, guys, have a great day.